Hi folks, this is a tutorial about how to get up and running with Visual Studio Code and especially with its live share feature. I'm making this tutorial because we are going to use Visual Studio Code live share for the Espresso Summer School, which is basically an online course about a simulation software called Espresso. But you can use Visual Studio Code live share for whatever you want, and so without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you the process for Linux in the simplest possible case. There's a few things that can go wrong along the way, but I'll be coming to that later. So the first thing you need to do is open up a terminal, for example by pressing Ctrl-Alt-T. Then you need to type sudo apt install code. This is assuming that you have root privileges on your Linux system. I need to enter in my password, and then Visual Studio Code will be installed. This may take a moment. And then you can run Visual Studio Code just by typing code. There you go. Inside Visual Studio Code, we need to install a few extensions so that Visual Studio Code gets the functionalities that we need. You click on the extension symbol on the left bar, and then you can search for the extensions that you want to install. In our case, it is Live Share. There it is. I just click install. And then you can see in the bottom that it is installing a few dependencies, which may take a while. I am also going to install the live share audio feature. And then, because we need it for our Espresso Summer School, I'll also install the Python extension. Click install, and it's still taking a while for it to finish, as I can see in the status bar at the bottom. Okay, now that we're done installing all the extensions that we need, we can continue logging into LiveShare. We click on the LiveShare symbol at the bottom left. And now we are prompted with a choice to either sign in with a Microsoft account or with a GitHub account. For reasons that I'll explain later, I recommend you to use GitHub. And you need an account at GitHub. If you haven't already, you can create an account by going to github.com. And here you can sign up for an account and use that for logging into LiveShare. So again, I click on Live Share, sign in with GitHub, and now I'm taken to this login site. I log in with my personal login. Now I click on Authorize, open link, open. And now I can see that I'm logged into LiveShare because my username is shown at the bottom left. And I also see that I started a LiveShare session, which I might not want. So I go to the LiveShare tab at the left. And then I can stop the collaboration session. And then I can see that I have several options. For example, I can join a collaboration session by entering a URL, for example. Now, as I have mentioned earlier, there's a couple of things that can go wrong along the way. And because of that, I'm going to show you alternative ways to do things. So first of all, you might not be using Linux. And also there might be the problem that if you want to install Visual Studio Code with sudo apt install code, you might not have the root password, and so you're not able to use the root privileges. And for all these cases, you can go to code.visualstudio.com, and here you're presented with download options. You can go to other platforms, and you can select the installer that works for you and install it as you would normally do for your operating system. And for the special case that you're a Linux user without root privileges, you can use the .tar.jz download. Save the file. And now I can unpack the archive, extract. Now here's Visual Studio Code inside a folder, and I can cut and paste it anywhere I want, as long as I have writing privileges at that location. So you can't copy anything anywhere where you don't have writing privileges anyway. So yeah, for example, I can just put it inside my home folder. And now I enter the Visual Studio Code folder, and then I go to the binary folder, and now I right click, open in terminal, and now I type ./code, and this opens Visual Studio Code. Now I can install the extensions just as I did before by going to the extensions tab, and now I can type live share, click install, and I also want to install live share audio. And I want the Python extension, which we need for the Summer Espresso School. Okay, now these extensions have been installed, but at the bottom I can see that it's still finishing up some dependencies, and I'm gonna wait until that is finished. Okay, now the extensions have been installed, and we can continue with logging into LiveShare. For that, we click on the LiveShare symbol at the bottom left, select GitHub, and now we're taken to the login site at github.com. And I'm going to use my personal login. And now I click on Authorize, just as I've done before. And now it says ready to collaborate. But there's no window popping up as it was happening before. And if I go inside Visual Studio Code, the signing in process is still running, and I could wait forever. It's hanging at this nothing. And so we need to cancel that. And luckily, they present us with a different option. It says, having trouble, click here for user code directions. And we're going to click on that. And now we can see a code at the bottom. And we copy that, copy to clipboard. Then we go inside Visual Studio Code, go to View, Command Palette, search for sign in with user code, select that, paste the code that you just copied, press enter, and then you should see your username at the bottom, and that means that you're signed in. And now if you go to the LiveShare tab, you can see that you're presented with the options to join collaboration session or start a collaboration session. So as far as I understand it, the signing in process is hanging because we've installed Visual Studio Code locally. So as you remember, we did not install it with sudo apt install, but just by extracting the archive that we've downloaded from the website. And because of that, the browser and Visual Studio Code don't talk to each other that well. And so the signing in process just hangs. And that's the reason why we need to take this alternative route if we installed Visual Studio Code locally by extracting the archive. Another thing that might happen while signing in is that you may be prompted to enter a password for a keyring, which keeps you from signing into LiveShare. And I was utterly surprised when this happened to me, because I have never used the keyring, and this is basically a password manager. So if you know the password of your keyring, you can simply type it in and you're all set. But what I did, because I didn't know the password, and you can do it if you're 100% sure that you don't need the keyring anymore, is that you can simply delete it and replace it with another one that you know the password for. And so here's how you can do it. You simply look for an application that's called something like passwords and keys. And this first keyring is the one that's blocking you, and you can just right click on it and delete it, which I won't do now. But that's how you can do it. But again, please don't do it if you don't know for 100% that you don't need it anymore. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial for getting started with Visual Studio Code and LiveShare. If you're a participant of the Espresso Summer School and you did not succeed with signing into LiveShare, then please ask someone for help and we'll guide you through the process. And I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.